Okay. Good afternoon. Why is it echoing? Let's see, 1 second. Nat, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. All right, good afternoon, KW South Bay. How's everyone doing today? Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you very much. Can you believe it's already at the end of October? Halloween is upon us. So we're super excited. So thank you again for being here. Let's go ahead and continue. We have some great stuff today. So next slide, please.
Hey, Simon, I think you need to unmute one of you have both the TV and your laptop.
Nat, can you hear me? Next slide, please.
Yeah, you need to unmute one of the devices. Mute one of them.
Nat, can you hear me? Next slide. There we go. Okay. Our mission and our belief and our vision to provide agents with a place where they will be empowered, trained, and motivated to experience growth, wealth, and a legacy that allows them to live their best life possible. Our belief, when the value of your own company align with your own beliefs, you know you found your professional home. And our vision, to achieve amazing professionals and personal development so that KW South Bay remains the agency of choice. Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to touch a little bit on the Y4C2Ts as well as part of our team building today. So it's a collaboration, but more so is to kind of provide you on why you chose Keller Williams.
Yeah, so you either this or the TV, one or the other.
Yeah, I muted the television.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so next slide,
Simon,
please.
the television is not muted.
By the way, do you like the hat? It's supposed to be a Cuban.
The
That's supposed to be a
television is
Cuban.
not muted. Your television is not
Next slide,
muted.
please. Yeah, right.
The television is not muted.
Next slide, please. All right, just a friendly reminder, this November 2nd, which is Sunday, Fallback Sunday. Don't forget, we get an hour of sleep. Yeah, absolutely. So a friendly reminder that this Sunday, it is the Fallback Sunday. So make sure that you adjust your time for this Sunday. So actually gives you an hour more of sleep too. So just thought we would put that out there for you as a reminder, and also a reminder to your clients. Next slide.
Simon, can you hear me?
Next slide. All right, just a friendly reminder, our 2025 Agent Leadership Council, all of the amazing agents that are part of the ALC. This may change in 2026. We're actually now going through the motions of selecting our 2026 ALC. So for the current year, these are your leaders. Next slide. All right, and your support team. Can you guess all of these characters? Wow. Who knows this character here? Anyone? I don't know who that character. I for sure don't know this character. What about this guy? Michael Myers, yes.
TV's not muted.
It is muted. Okay, 1 second. See?
You hear that echo?
Yeah. So I muted it, and it's still echoing. Maybe it's this one here. Let's see. Sorry about that, folks. Give me 1 second. If we do this. Okay. All right, now it's still echoing. See, when I mute it, you don't hear. This one's muted. Okay, let's try
The
now.
training room and the laptop.
Okay, how about now?
Now you're good.
Okay, awesome. Sorry about that. Thank you so much. We had a little bit of a technical issue. All right, who knows this gentleman here? Freddy Cougar, Mr. Fred Howard. What about the next one? Come on, guys. It's a famous movie. No, I don't even know. Yeah. What about the next person? Chucky. The next. Leatherface. Yeah. And the following, that's Jason, right? From Friday the 13th. And then Frankenstein. What about the next one? The Nun. And the last one? Yeah. Awesome. Good job, guys. Yeah. So that's your support team, by the way. Awesome, Nat. Let's continue. Next slide, please. We want to welcome our newest agents. Kissening, Craighead, and Ryan Chapman are part of our team. Any of you here today? No. All right. If you do get a chance to see them, make sure to congratulate them and welcome to the family. All right. Next slide. All right. I wanted to touch a little bit on the importance of who we are as a real estate company and why the Y4C2Ts is a valid and very important. You know, when you align yourself with a real estate company that provides not just the support, but the training, the structure, models and systems, and the ability to really grow and thrive. Also, when you align yourself with a company that has belief systems, right? And these belief systems are the ones up here. So can you repeat after me as we go through the Y4C2Ts, okay? W stands for win-win or no deal. Win-win or no deal. What does that mean to you? Win-win or no deal? Yes.
Yeah. You have to make sure everything's right and what the odds go up for it.
100%. Absolutely. The whole purpose is it's not just about negotiations, about having that strong arm tactics. It's about the win in all, right? And the importance is as we navigate real estate transactions, it could be rocky. It could be a challenge. You may hit walls all the time, okay? In essence, the whole purpose is how can we both win on this, right? The buyer, the listing agent, the buyer's agent, and the seller, right? As we're navigating this, right? It's our job as real estate professionals to know how to navigate that. And this is a vital and very powerful statement. Win-win or there's no deal, okay? The next one, the I, it stands for integrity, do the right thing. What does that resonate with you? What does that mean? 100%. Yeah, be honest, right? Don't take shortcuts. Be very transparent and ultimately finish it with the utmost integrity of a real estate deal, right? Because in this industry, it can be very easy to go to the dark side, okay? But it's very important for you to understand that what we do is holding ourselves accountable and more so the integrity of our clients, our colleagues, right? We would never do anything to compromise their position. And I think it's vital and important for all of us to do the right thing. So integrity is one of the main points here as well. The next one is customers. The C, always come first. What does that mean to you? Anyone?
You're the customer that.
Yeah. In any line of work that you're in, it doesn't mean real estate, any type, customers are first, right? And when there's an issue, are you first to navigate that conversation and make an understanding of what the issue is before it escalates to something even bigger or worse? So part of the Y4C2Ts is customers always come first, okay? You may disagree, you may think otherwise, and sometimes we have to hold that composure because the essence is you're looking at the bigger picture, right? Future business. And if you do right with your clients, guess what's going to happen? they're going to provide you with more leads and opportunities as well. Okay. Next one is the letter C again, commitment in all things. Do you commit to your business? Are you holding yourself accountable? What do you do to commit to your daily activities, right? So part of the part of the Y4C2Ts is the 4 C's. Customer commitment, communication is the next one. Seek first to understand. If you don't have clarity, what should you do, right? What should you do? Communication is the most vital part in our line of work. Would you agree or disagree? Yeah. Because lack of communication
Sorry, hello. I think you're on mute.
Hey, hold on. I am not on mute.
No, you're not on mute.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not on mute. Thank you so much. So communication is one of the most important things of what we do in real estate, in my opinion, right? And I deal with this on a regular basis. I get calls and complaints from other agents saying, hey, I've been having a hard time trying to communicate with your agent. And when I call the agent, hey, someone has been trying to reach out to you. He goes, really? I haven't received any messages. That's strange, right? So the essence is, is your phone number correct? Is your email correct, right? All of that has to be vital because that's your lifeline of opportunities. That's a missed opportunity if you don't have the ability to communicate with someone. And more so, are you communicating on a regular basis with your clients as well, right? You should be doing check-ins every once in a while, right? If you're the listing agent, what should be the standard of communications with your sellers? Anyone?
At least once a week.
Yeah, at least once a week. If you have nothing to update, at least once a week, you should be having a conversation with your clients. Hey, I have no updates to provide you, but I'm doing my regular weekly check-ins with you. We have nothing to report, okay? That would go so far that at least they know that you're on top of your game and more so giving them updates, okay? And I believe in the 3 elements to it, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? We love giving good conversations, right? Congratulations, we have officially recorded. Then we have situations where we have bad conversations, right? Where we have to say, unfortunately, the buyer's deciding they may back out of the deal. Or ugly conversations, right? Where you're 30 days in and now the buyer decides to back out of the deal. And there's a lot of moving parts. Sellers have already found a replacement property and there's a lot of moving parts with that, right? So those are ugly conversations that we just don't, but we have to as real estate professionals. We have to give all of those elements of conversations. And sometimes it's hard, right? It's like, I don't want to have that conversation with the seller or the buyer. They're going to be upset. But at the end, you just got to do it. Nip it in the rear is what we say, and always communicate. Creativity, ideas before results, okay? The beautiful thing about aligning yourself with Keller Williams is the immense of training, education, platforms, and systems and models that we have within KW. I think it's one of the best real estate brokerages and companies to be part of. Teamwork. Together, everyone achieves more. Will you agree or disagree with that? Yeah. It's no different than a team, right? Go Dodgers. Are we all rooting for the Dodgers this afternoon? Yeah. Yeah, pretty intense game 2 days ago, right? Gosh, man, I stayed up till the very end. And that home run just shows the impact of team effort, right? So that's also with Keller Williams, teamwork, all of you. Collaboration, masterminds, networking, working with one another to build momentum into your business. Trust starts with honesty, okay? I think trust is similar to integrity, in my opinion. Okay. Be honest. You know, even though you may think they're going to be upset about the situation, I'd rather be honest and upfront about it than it comes back to bite me. Okay. Equity, opportunities for all. Okay. We're a real estate platform, a real estate company that believes in equal opportunities for everyone. Okay. That's the beautiful thing about being such an amazing organization as Keller Williams. Success results through people. Okay. We all want to win, right? We all want to be successful. And the way we achieve success is through people. Okay. Helping one another. Someone needs your assistance and help. Okay. Are you there to help? Someone needs or has challenges, right? Are you there to help? I know I am. I know Fred is. I know staff is. I know leadership is. The question is, are you here to help one another too? That's the beautiful thing. Okay. Thoughts, questions, and concerns regarding the Y4C2Ts. Does this resonate? Does this make sense? Yeah. Yeah. Believe in this, and I promise you, you'll have a very successful real estate career. This is awesome. All right, Nat, let's continue. Next slide, please. All right, friendly reminder, Business Planning Clinic, November 13, just around the corner, 9:30 to 4. It will be at the South Bay Association of Realtors, okay? So please make sure to register. I want to show that KW South Bay is all in, okay? We're going to give you the fundamentals, services, strategies, money management, enhanced marketing tools, the use of tech and AI, and conversations that top performers have. And it's really building that momentum for your 2026 production. Okay, who's going? Should be raising more hands. Okay, yeah. Please make sure to register. It's going to be a fun event. Okay, and the beautiful thing, it's going to be at the South Bay associations as well. All right, let's continue. Next slide. All right, tomorrow's the day, the official Halloween party. Can't believe it, man. Tomorrow, geez. It's an event that we have every year, and it's awesome. I mean, talk to some of the agents that have been here with us for many years. You know, we have live music, we have tons of food, and just a collaboration, and just get to meet friends and family too, because people will bring their families, their children. Make it an effort to come tomorrow. It's such an amazing event. And the office, the staff really works super hard to make this very impactful for all of you. It's one of our biggest events other than our Christmas event and our award ceremony. The Halloween event here is awesome. And, you know, this place becomes a dance floor too as well. So if you like to boogie and shake it, it's a great place to do so. So it's tomorrow, 5:30 to 8:30 here in the office. All right, let's continue. Next slide. All right, so we want to thank Christy Buscemi with Old Republican Home Warranty. She couldn't make it today. She provided us with today's lunch. So if you see her, give her a high five. Thank you again for always being a support to our office. All right, let's continue. Next slide. All right, listing pitches, buyer needs and wants. Anyone? We are so quiet. Are we still tired from the Dodgers? What's going on? Yes,
I have a-
Wendy.
Buyer is looking for probably a condo in the Brentwood area,
Okay.
or Playa del Rey area. Their budget's about 900,000. They're looking for a bright unit that's not on the first or second floor. They want to be a little bit elevated, so maybe the third floor or above. Yeah, that's what they're looking for.
Okay, beautiful. Awesome. Anyone else? Buyer needs, coming soon listings? Yes, Eric.
Downtown LA, a condo, it's like a converted loft, it used to be like an elevator building, now it's a cool, modern, trendy loft, it's a little social loft. 2 bed, 2 bath, almost 2,000 square feet, for $750, which is a very low price per square foot in the area. And the owner will pay like HOA fees for a little bit, you give a little incentive for some buyers, so. Yeah, that's another 2,750, nice work slot, you get price out.
We're at in downtown.
San Pedro Street, San Pedro, and it's in the, it's right in between the Fashion and the Arts District. I forget what the cross street is. Yeah. I'll give you that.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks, Eric. Anyone else? Okay, let's go ahead and continue. Next slide. I believe we got Fernando Diaz with CM&G Home Loans. Does he have bunny rabbit ears? What's up, Fernando? How you doing? Good.
All right.
Look at
So-
you.
Hey, look at that. Interesting. Like, actually, that's about as dressed up as I will get tomorrow for your party. Real quick, guys, as you guys know, the Fed met today and they cut rates.
Yes.
Fortunately, it's not good for interest rates.
Oh, when?
Nope, because once again, remember, it's about the words they use after they make a move, whether it's no move, lower move, so.
We do a 25%.
So here you go. Rates jumped after Powell said the following. This is right now, as he was speaking. The committee's discussions at this meeting, they were strongly deferring views about how to proceed in December. So that's the big thing, you know, the market was expecting another cut in December. And now he's taken a more cautious view towards it. And so of course that spooks the markets and they started going up the other way. You need me to talk to them?
No,
Okay.
that should be good.
So that is kind of where it's at now. Now, that doesn't mean that tomorrow, Friday, Monday, whatever, they could change their positioning, or they could say something, or they could see some data. And that's another, by the way, that's another issue because of the government shutdown. They're not getting the typical data that they get, so they're going to basically private data sources to get some of it, sort of like the investment houses do. That is definitely something that is, I would say, I'm not saying slowing them down necessarily in decision making, but I would say having at least a minimal impact on their decision making for sure. Your question?
How many basis points did they try to?
Quarter cut. Yeah, and so a couple of the Fed people there they were voting for a 50 basis point cut, which would have definitely helped us big time. That would have been more aggressive. So they did.
So are we at 6 right now?
Well, as of yesterday, yeah, we call it 6. I mean, some products are way better or better. Some products are a little bit worse depending on the model, but I would say 6 is a good place to be. Now, where will we be tomorrow? Let's just say as things open and this news gets digested, hard to say. But I mean, keep in mind that like an eighth or quarter move in rate, that is a huge move in a day or two. Okay, so it's not like it's gonna go from 6 to 7 overnight. Like that's not the case. It's just a little bit of a realignment, if you want to call it, that it's doing. Any other questions? Nope. That's it? Usually there's more questions than that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I already gave you the September car report, so there's no candy to throw out because of that. But Simon, if you have any questions, just give it out. Test everybody's knowledge on whatever.
Well, we're going to be doing a little bit of a group session team building right now.
There you go.
So maybe
Whoever gets the question right gets a treat.
we'll definitely pass out those.
But that's it for me. In terms of there's just the news of the Fed, that was really the only big thing today.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yes. A VA loan? So VA and FHA loans are typically, I mean, it depends on the day, 50 basis points better than a conventional loan. And typically, not always. So I typically say 3/8 to a half. So if 6% is a standard 30-year conforming rate today, you're probably 5.5, 5.6 on a VA or an FHA loan. Okay. So just something to note mentally. Yeah. That's why I said 6 is like the middle, but there's some stuff that better, some stuff.
So conforming, you're going 6% no points right now?
Yeah. Yes. Yesterday was a better day than today, obviously. So yesterday was closer to 5.8, but I would say 6 is more of an accurate number today.
Yeah, they're floating every.
So
which way.
yeah, but the market is hot, guys. I will tell you, it is definitely moving. So I see a lot of. I mean, you also have to put it in perspective. We were 7s, call it low 7s at the beginning of the year, the first quarter, and now as we get into the last quarter of the year, we're basically at 6. So a 1% move in rate, hypothetically, across the board, that's a 10% increase in purchasing power for the average buyer. Okay, so that's a big move, just in a matter of what, 9 months, call it. So that's a positive thing. Yeah. And if you look at the median home price in California, which was like 930-ish, 910-ish, that 1% move in rate is about a $650 a month move in payment, which is big. Yeah. So
That's someone's
you're
car
looking
payment.
apples to apples, right? Yeah. So that's it. Unless you guys have anything else.
Very good. Let's give Fernando a round of applause, please. Sorry. All right, appreciate it, man. Thank you. All right, well, let's go ahead and continue. Next slide, broker updates. All right, next slide. We have our presentation. Cute. Thanks, Natalie. All right, so Natalie, if we can look at the cat. He's like, what? All right, so spooky good scripts for sellers and buyers objections. So I wanted to do it kind of a more of a team building parameter. So can we do, how many people are here? Can we do maybe 3 breakout sessions? So these 2 tables will be 1, you guys in the back, including you guys would be part of group 1, you'll be group 2, and the rest of the people out there will be group 3. All right, so if you can all kind of collaborate and get together for me, please. Okay, just get together here. So you guys are part of group 2, group 1, and then group 3 will be out there if you're okay. Okay. There we go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, this will give you an opportunity for you to collaborate and talk to one another as we go through this. All right, so don't let objections haunt your next deal. Provide response scripts that will help you confident, right? So what I want to do is really just mastermind and kind of build a momentum to handle some of the most common objections that we have, right? And these are something that as long as you consistently repeat, it'll come naturally to you that when the buyer or seller says this to you, you'll have the confidence to be able to answer that objection. All right. So let's continue. Next slide, please. All right. So the every objection has an opportunity, right? When buyers and sellers voice their concerns, they're not just saying they're not asking for reinsurance clarity or confidence. Master these scripts, right? So the essence of what we're trying to do is the more that you practice, ladies and gentlemen, the better and better you get at really conversing those. Because if you understand, most of the objections are price, terms, and conditions. If you can just embed that in your mind, that most of the conversations you're going to have is going to be about price. It's going to be about the terms, length of the listing, right? The length of a buyer representation agreement, right? These are the conditions that if you know and build that confidence, then you're going to be able to answer any and all questions when they come to you. Next slide. All right, so here are the 5 objections that you'll hear from a buyer's point of view. We want to wait for rates to drop, okay? So amongst each other's, kind of have a conversation around what you think you can answer that objection, right? So I'll give you about a minute or so to really just talk among each other and come with a solution regarding that specific objection. All right, go for it. Let's do this.
So just for the first one?
Yeah, for the first one.
Yeah, all right. You know, it's not bad. Good.
2 minutes, guys, 2 minutes.
Hearing this. And yeah, when I tell clients, is that, you know, being a buyer right now is really powerful because sellers are having their homes on the market a little bit longer. There was questions. And
Come over here, guys.
as a buyer, even as long as you can afford your payment with the current interest rate, that you can refi your home in as little as 6 months. You know, when the rates drop, and you can do that over 6 months. So locking in that, and also the competition. Competition is gonna be exponentially less right now than it was 6 years ago. When, you know, people were getting 20 offers, you know, 20,000 over asking someone to cash. So that's basically what I was sharing.
So one thing that I'll add is that, other, you know, the interest rate drop, the thing about the, so that you.
Also, people on Zoom, if you want to chime in too after, you're more than happy to do so.
You're gonna be.
All right, time. I don't want to prolong this. It should be an easy, quick conversation. So let's go with group one. So if I'm a buyer and I say, I want to wait until the rates drop. What answer did you come with? Yes. Yeah, team one. You guys are team one.
Yeah, I was just mentioning that I've come across this question quite a bit
Yeah.
recently, and I just share the fact that, you know, if they find a home that they are in love with, that now is a great time to buy, because there are fewer people actually looking to buy homes, and the competition is gonna be significantly less, and they can refi in 6 months if the rates drop. So
Yeah.
there's opportunities. They're not necessarily stuck with the rate that they're as long as they can afford the payment now with the current rates, you know, they can be in a much better position in as little as 6 months.
Yeah, that's a good point. Anyone else on group one? Yes,
And
sir.
also when the, you know, just like you're waiting, thousands of people also waiting to do the same thing. But guess what happens when the interest rate go down for the same property, for the same amount that you're looking at now, you are dealing with, again, you're against so many buyers. And you know, they're gonna pitch your offer, so it's gonna be, again, prices are gonna go up, so again, you're gonna, you know, restart with a now higher prices.
Yeah, awesome. All right, awesome. Group two, what did you come up with?
So first of all, you know, validate their concerns. I totally understand that you want to wait for rates to drop. However, have you heard about the different creative options that we have where you actually can get a lower interest rate than, you know, what is on the market? For example, right now we're in a market where you have more negotiating power with the seller. You can negotiate for a credit to buy down your rate. There's so many different avenues and solutions that you could look at. It's just about educating them.
100%. It's all about education, right? They don't know what they don't know, right? And this is a very simple objection, in my opinion, that you can overcome because, as Wendy was saying, yeah, you can eventually refinance the property, even if your rate is high. And a year, 2 years, 3 years from now, what if the rate drops 1 or even 2%, right? That's a great saving, as Fernando was saying, about your monthly payments, right? For every percentage, you said it was about $600, right? That $600 that can go to paying off another debt, or maybe even you know, getting a vehicle as well, right? All right, the next one is it's cheaper to rent right now. It's cheaper to rent right now. So if a buyer was to tell you this, listen, it's cheaper. I just can't afford to pay for a mortgage right now. I'd rather continue renting. How would you handle that objection? I'm opening it up to everyone right now because you got to think quickly, right? It's not about, well, let me think about it and I'll get back to you, right? Because another real estate agent is going to be able to address it immediately, right? The goal is to close the gap, right? Close the gap, but in essence, for them to believe that you are the right fit professional to help them get what they want. But this is why these particular conversations are vital and important for you to how you navigate the ultimate decision making for them to utilize your services. So, what would you say on this question? Yes.
In this statement, you can tell your buyer that you are not building wealth overnight.
Right.
And this is your first step
Okay.
to accumulating wealth. And yes, it could be true. And very often when you buy property, your rent is cheaper and you're saving today. but as time goes, you actually, I mean, you're not saving today, but as time goes, you start saving more and more, and you're building something for your home.
Yeah.
And I think this is main objective, I agree.
Well, look at the pros and cons to it, and we'll share a little bit more. Fred, yes, sir.
I think it would go to the pain versus pleasure
Yes.
conversation. Because if, depending on when they started renting, they're already in the mortgage payment, so.
Yeah.
They're paying.
They are.
So if.
You're paying someone's mortgage.
Right, they're paying something. So.
That's a good
But
point,
my
right?
thing is, you know, you're paying something without the benefit of it.
That's right.
You know, and it's sort of like, you know, if you use the example of insurance, yes, you brag that you are a perfect driver.
Yeah.
You pay insurance every month, and that goes to nothing because of that, so.
Right.
With renting versus purchasing, you share the fact, again, you always validate their concerns.
Sure.
But then you also let them know that you're already paying them.
That's right. I love that. Because in essence, they really are paying someone's mortgage, right? It may not be your mortgage, but you're paying a mortgage. Yes, yes, that's a good point. Yes.
I would ask them like, what's a comfortable monthly, like, mortgage that you're comfortable with? So then that way, if they tell me something like $5,000 to $6,000 monthly, then I know that that's a $700,000 home. Or if they're like on the $3,000 to $5,000, then I know that maybe a condo direction. So that way I could like kind of pivot the conversation in that aspect, just asking them, where are you most comfortable at? And then just pivot around it. Boom.
100%. Love that. Anyone else? Yes, Wendy.
This kind of came to me, if somebody, you could ask them, so how long have you been renting? Like, have you been renting for 5 years? And what's your rent? Multiply that times 5 years worth of payments, and you can show them, this is the amount of money that you have not invested in your future that you could have utilized to purchase your own property and have been building equity.
That's a good point. Absolutely. Equity, right? Does everyone know what equity is, right? That's time over time, the house appreciates in value while you're paying down the mortgage, right? And the beautiful thing is, if you get a mortgage of a 30-year fixed rate, that's fixed. What happens to rent every year? Yeah. So what you were paying 5 years ago is not what you're paying now, right? But in the mortgage, your mortgage is fixed for the entire loan. That's how you sell them on this. The appreciation, your home is going to be worth more money. And guess what? Buy something now. Even if it's not the area that you want to live, this is not your forever home. This is your stepping stone home that eventually you build equity on that property. And now you pull out the equity and then buy your next home. That's the way you maneuver this conversation. We don't want to overpay. Who wants to overpay? No one, right? So imagine if they tell you, wow, I don't want to overpay for this property. How do you handle that objection? Yes, Fred.
How long do you plan on staying in your?
Well, that's a good question. I wasn't planning to stay that long.
And what is that long?
Well, maybe another 6 to a year.
Okay, 6 to a year.
Yeah.
6 months to a year.
6 months to a year.
To live in your home,
Yes.
not renting, but purchasing. If you were to purchase, how long do you plan?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was thinking renting. So, yeah, no, it would be for a very long time, at least 10 years.
Really? Have you looked at the market lately?
I have. Yeah.
And you notice that prices with homes, even though sometimes they do take a dip, they're always traveling up. And can I share my experience with you?
Yeah, please do so.
Because, when I purchased my home, I purchased it at a very low price. And guess what? You remember in 2007, 2008?
I do remember. Yeah.
My house crashed also. My value went from 600 to 400. But I didn't want to move, so I ended up doing what I needed to do. But now it's worth $9. So,
Yeah.
You can look at, how long you plan on staying home, but you'll never overprice a home unless you really get a bad realtor that gets you into a bad deal.
Right. Yeah, no, I get it. But even like you said, Fred, I mean, the importance is buy something, even if it's not the area that you can't afford, because everyone has their desire area, right? I know I have my desire area that I like, but I can't afford that area. Not yet, at least. But the essence is you start building momentum. It's a step, right? You buy one home, you sell one home, you buy another one, you sell it, you buy, and eventually get to where you want to be, right? And the beautiful, it's the compound effect of your mortgage, your house, right? It builds appreciation in the long haul, right? And even if it doesn't appreciate, what do you gain from the property?
Write it off.
You get tax benefits out of it, right? You get to do beautiful things to the property, landscaping, adding square footage, adding a bathroom, bedroom, maybe adding an ADU to it and getting rental income, right? Or best, rent it out too. But the essence is you drop the mortgage payment. Eventually that mortgage will be wiped out. The only thing you'll be paying is two things: property taxes and insurance, right? And obviously the utilities, but that's just part of even renting, right? But imagine that you bought this property for 500,000 and then you pay it off in 20 years, right? And now that $500,000 property is worth 800 or 900,000, but it's free and clear. That's $900,000 in your pocket. How many people can save $900,000 in a lifespan, right? That's the value that you need to sell your clients on, for them to understand the dynamics of home ownership or investments, right? Cool, awesome. All right, let's continue. Next slide. So we want to wait for interest rates. So I completely understand timing matters. The important thing is to remember is that price historically rise long-term in our market. You can always refinance and rates drop, but you cannot go back and buy yesterday's price. Okay, so again, I'm just giving you some example. How you pivot? Would you like me to show you the cost differences of waiting from 6 to 12 months? Let's run some numbers so you can see how appreciation typically outpaces rates. And it's so true, depending on the area, right? If you live here in Torrance, people buy for the schools, right? And all of the amenities that we have in the South Bay, right? You've got the malls, you've got the restaurants, you've got all kinds of stuff. This is called the bubble of South Bay, where people will not leave. When they think outside of South Bay, it's too far, right? So there's a lot of value regarding that, right? So next slide. Then the other one was cheaper to rent right now, right? I hear you. Renting can feel easier than short term, but rent is 100% interest and it always goes up, right? When you own, you're locking in a payment while building long-term equity. The data play, right? Show a 3 to 5 year comparison, right? Tax benefits, right? We have the tools to really paint that picture to the client of how appreciation, tax incentives and benefits of home ownership versus renting. Because we can't control when a landlord decides they want possession of their property, right? They either want to renovate, they want to move back in, they want to sell the property. You have no control over that, right? But what you do have control, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, is you've got control of owning your own real estate that now you can now become a landlord in the future, right? That's the value that you want to sell them on, okay? The emotional hook. Let's review what owning versus renting would look like for your family's future. Would you rather pay your landlord's mortgage or your own? Going back to what Fred was saying, okay? I don't want to pay a mortgage. Well, you're paying someone's mortgage. It may not be your mortgage, but it's someone's mortgage that you're paying on a monthly basis if you're renting. So you sell them on that understanding. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right. Next one, please. Next slide. We don't want to overpay. The market might crash. Your confidence builder, complete valid concerns. Thankfully, in our local market, inventory remains low and demand is strong. Value continues to appreciate. Let's review current absorption rates and all that, right? follow the trends of what Gary Keller has been doing. You know, every year he provides us with the state of the company and the trends too is right. If you follow the National Association of Realtors, they do the same thing. And you can see that year after year, there may be a little bit of a dip, but eventually things still continue going up. As Fred was saying earlier, back in 2007, right, when the market crashed in 08, yeah, it took a plummet and it plunged. But eventually what went down eventually came back up. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So that's again how you sell the buyers to ultimately work with you. Next slide, please. Okay, objection number 4. We love it, but we need to think about it. Okay. This is really about needing time. It's about the hidden concerns, right? So if they love it, what's their hesitation? What are the pros and cons to this conversation, right? What do you like and dislike about the property, right? And this is again why you have to be a very good listener when you're talking to clients, right? Consulting them. That's why we call it a buyer consultation appointment, right? For the essence for you to understand is what do they want? And when you really anchor that conversation and understand what they want, now you can zero in on those expectations. And more so, the beautiful thing about the MLS is you can narrow everything down, right? From bedrooms, amenities, pool, 2-story, backyard, no backyard, front yard, whatever the case, you can do that in the criteria sector, right? And then it's going to populate properties that meet your client's needs and wants, right? That's the beautiful thing about it, okay? Let's go ahead on the next slide. We're not sure the payment is comfortable, right? Acknowledge the fear. I respect that you've that your comfort level matters. This is a major monthly commitment, and it should feel right for you, your budget and lifestyle, right? If you kind of intersect that conversation and say, I understand, it's a big step, it's a big commitment, right? But the essence is look at the long game on this, right? And when you sit down with them and really understand the benefits of home ownership, then they start changing their mindset. It's like, you know what, you're right. This is what shows you in a different light is the value that you can provide your clients, right? Does that make sense? Okay. Offer solutions. Let's take advantage of today's lender programs, right? When was the last time you talked to Fernando, talked to Chris, talked to a lender? Hey, what programs do you have? You'll be surprised. Lenders have different programs for different options, right? They may have incentives there for your clients. So look at that as an avenue to sell them on the importance of home ownership. If you could structure it so the payment fits your comfort zone, would this be the right home? This reframes affordability and solves the deal breaker, right? Well, maybe that $5,500 monthly payment may not feel really well when you're paying $3,500. Let's look at properties that you feel comfortable, right? Just because you qualify for $1 million doesn't mean you have to buy $1 million property. There's homes in beautiful locations at $600,000 or $700,000. Remember, this is not your forever home, right? Then they start understanding. Sometimes we have to hold them by the hand and say, follow me. We're trying to build wealth through real estate. Okay, next slide. Someone knocking back there? Master the spirits and fears forever, right? So again, you got to understand the elements when working with a buyer, because there is going to be a little bit of a fear, right, on how you maneuver and navigate those conversations. Because if it's a first-time home buyer, I get it, okay? But what if it's not a first-time home buyer, right? Maybe it's an investor, right? Finding the right property will also pay dividends in your approach as well, okay? So look at it from that avenue too as well. Next slide. We have seller
There's
objection.
no more slides.
Okay. So no problem. I think I have it here on my computer, so maybe I can just share with you. So the essence, let's kind of pivot into talking about what sellers want, right? What is one of the major seller objections you're going to get? Anyway, what do you think is one of the objections you'll get from a seller?
Not giving my property away.
Not giving my property away. Well, Steve, tell me a little bit more about what that means to you.
Well, I put a lot of work into my house and, my home's my castle. And so, I've seen what some of these have sold and I've talked to a couple other agents and, the price they say my house is worth, it's like, no, I think it's worth a heck of a lot more. So the only way I'm selling it is I have to get my price.
Yeah, and what is that price?
Well, just because my neighbor sold his for, $950, I think mine's worth, 1.5.
1.5.
Yeah.
Okay. That's in my mind, I'm thinking, man, that's a big gap.
Yeah.
What is special of Steve's house?
Well, I have gold-plated toilet seats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the cost of ounce of gold right now, right? Yeah, I'll buy them from you, by the way. Yeah, no, but it's knowing how to navigate that conversation, because in his mind, how do we anchor that conversation and bring them down to earth, right? One is the best way to do so is numbers do not lie. Run comps, apples to apples, right? Compare his property. If his home is a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,500 square feet on a 8,500, does that sound about right about your home?
You got a little high, and a little low there, but you're in the
Right.
area.
So think about it. Then all you have to do is just find properties in similar characteristics, right? That have sold in the last 90 to 6 months. Active properties that are currently active, under contract, pending, and have sold, right? And then do a half to 1 mile radius of his property. And then present the comparables to the seller and says, look, here's what's happening in your area. Numbers do not lie. And I've done multiple searches, not just on the MLS, but I went through Realist for off-market deals that have closed without a real estate agent involved. And I still don't see anything that justifies a 1.5 for your home. I get that you want to sell for 1.5, but what if you don't sell for 1.5? Are you okay taking anything less than 1.5? And remember, we got to find that trigger point. If he is motivated, he'll sell. But if he's not motivated and he's stern in his price, then we're just going to be bouncing back and forth. Maybe he's not ready at this point in time, and that's okay. Okay, you cannot bring someone down to earth to be realistic at the moment, but then you'll do check-ins with him on a regular basis. Hey, are you ready to sell now?
It's all about seller motivation.
100%.
Where they want to go next.
100%. Yeah. What is another objection that you'll get from a seller? Yes, sir.
Sometimes, usually when you're dealing with like a trust family, a lot of them, they don't want to make any repairs before the home goes on the market. I feel like a lot of them are just trying to split the money up.
Yeah.
Just, get what they can, and they don't have time or, don't want to do, because that's going to cut into, their net. So.
Got it.
I feel like that's it.
Well, you got to find out who is the actual decision maker, right? There's always going to be that one person or persons, right? That means that if you have to talk to one person or 3 persons to really anchor that conversation, because if you're just dialoguing with one individual, but there's 2 other people, it's not going to work. You're going to be spinning your wheels. But if there's 3 people that are involved in this type of transaction, you want to get all 3 of them in front of you so you can really see expressions and dialogue and disagreements. And it's okay to disagree. One brother may think different than the sister, right? The sister is like, yeah, I believe in your price. I want to list it. Well, the brother may say, I think we can get more. Then you can at least have that conversation. Well, tell me why you believe that your house is worth more. right? What other avenues in a prospective way can you challenge that objection? Why don't we get an independent appraisal done by a licensed professional? Okay, if they don't believe your comps, then get an independent appraisal and get the actual report. And here you are. Okay, now once you get that appraisal, whatever that appraised value comes in, are you okay to sell it at that price, or at least list it for that price, right? That's one way that you can answer that. You had a question? Okay. What other seller objections you think you'll come across? Yes.
They don't, me,
You then.
oh,
Go ahead.
sorry, they don't wanna lose their current low interest rate.
Yeah, that's a very good
Right.
one. Yeah, that is a very good one, right? So they don't want to sell their property because they have a very low rate, right? What can be the rate? What's your rate?
Be 3%.
3%. Are we ever going to see a 3%?
Probably not.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you, is the rate the most important, or finding the dream home more important to you?
Yes. Both.
Yeah, right. I get it. But what if we can find that home that hits all the bells and whistles that you've been wanting for a very long time? You know, would that give you the opportunity to really consider in selling your current home? Because remember, yes, we may not see a 3%. Okay. You do have options, right? Option one is keep that current rate and rent out your property, pull out a line of credit, or refinance some of your equity on your property, and then buy your second home, right? That might be a solution. I mean, I want to earn that listing, right? But I'm also trying to figure out what I can get out of this, right? Maybe not selling, but maybe I can have her as a buyer, right? So that might be a pivot in my conversation, saying, okay, have you considered maybe pulling some of your capital, or excuse me, some of your equity of your home to put a substantial down payment on your next home, right? Well, I didn't even think about that. All right, well, let's explore those options and see if that would be a benefit to you. And that's when you can send them to one of our lenders, right? Okay, what else? Yes.
So we can say too that if they wanna buy for the same area, the same city, and it's over 55, he gonna reduce the taxes, he gonna use
That's
the
right.
same taxes, and he can use this saving toward the interest rate.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. If it's your primary home, you can take over the property taxes. What proposition is it? Prop 19. Yeah, absolutely. Now, I wouldn't give tax advice, but I would encourage them to say, hey, why don't you speak with your CPA, your tax advisor, your accountant, and see what options you have with that. You know, those are great objections too. Wow. So, yeah. Was this valuable?
Yeah.
Okay. Was this good stuff? Yeah. Very good. Cool. All right, let's continue. Next slide. All right, continues. So just a reminder, we still have our bark treat giveaway. It's still happening till Friday. So if you have your furry friends, please make sure to get a photo. I know we've seen it on social media already with a lot of the dogs taking their photos. So it's still up in the main entrance to the office. Next slide. I'm going to be talking this Friday, actually on Halloween, the 31st, on stories, real estate transactions that I've been dealing with in the last 12 years being with KW. So I'll be giving you some highlights on stuff that I've seen personally come through my office here. So it'll be 10:30 from 10:30 to 11 o'clock here in the training room, and also on Zoom as well. Okay, next slide. This you don't want to miss, 2026 housing forecast with Steve Thomas. Okay, it'll be here November 20th from 10:30 to 12 p.m. He's going to be giving you forecasts and topics on demand and closed sales, final rise, the market for 2026, what will happen to values next year, and what the Fed's cut rates are for 2026, and more stuff. This guy is awesome. very analytical, but knows numbers. So this is a class you do not want to miss. Okay, so just putting that out there. All right, next slide. All right, and that concludes our team meeting. Thanks, everyone. I really appreciate you. Remember, don't forget tomorrow's a Halloween party. All right.